to Knit One Heart Two. My name is Wendy, also known as Penny Wenny, and my co-host, Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, cannot be with us this week. So, I'm on my own. She had her, as you might know, if you saw last week's episode, she had her first week of work this week. It went great, but she's been really busy. She's kind of adjusting to her new schedule. And to compound things, I flew to North Carolina on Tuesday and flew back on Wednesday night. So I wasn't here during our normal recording day. And it just wasn't going to work out for us to get together. So I'm recording just a short show to keep you updated. And then next week we should be back to our regularly scheduled programming now that Sheila kind of knows what her schedule is going to be like. So first off, shout outs. It's getting very close to the end of June, which means that our sock knit along and our monthly stash busting knit along are going to be wrapping up. So if you haven't posted a project in those groups, and you can, do it now. We will draw for both of those contests on the first time we record after July 1st. So get it in there now while you still can. Other than that, I don't think I have any more shout outs. We haven't decided if we're going to do a specific themed knit along for the next 2 months or what it will be, but we will definitely be opening up another stash busting knit along because that's been really good. And I'm proud of myself. I have mostly knit from stash this year or from hand spun that I spun this year. So I haven't purchased much yarn this year, so I'm proud of myself. I think the stash busting thread being out there is helping me. I have purchased a lot of fiber. We'll just glide over that. But on the yarn front, I'm staying pretty good. So, on the dance card, the only thing that I am knitting this week is the Starleaf Shawl by Jenny Johnson-Jonan. This is it. You can see it. I'm knitting it out of Fleece Artists lace, Saldana 2 lace space in the Starlight colorway, or Twilight colorway. Now, I can never remember what it is. I have to look it up every time. Stardust. In the Stardust colorway that was gifted to me by Siberian Cat. And I'm using some, you can't really see them too well, but I'm using some iridescent beads that are coming out kind of pretty. There's little flashes of green in this basically navy blue lace, and the green in the beads are really picking that up, and I love it. The only thing that's weird is somehow let's see if I can get you to see it, my noops come down to a point in the middle, and they should be going up like that. So I'm not really clear on how that happened, but I'm rolling with it. It doesn't affect the appearance of the shawl at all, and I can still use the charts, so I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen and keep going, and my version of this Star Leaf Shawl is going to be more unique. So, yeah, if you watched last week, I'll show you. I have a little container that I got from Stitches East 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember who made it, but she had a booth with all these little tins. And it's just the perfect size to keep a few beads. I don't put a ton in there at a time. So that when I'm out in public or in my living room, I have just this little tiny tin of beads I can quickly dip one up with my beading crochet hook. And I dropped it at Sheila's house, and we did spend quite a few minutes on the floor after the show picking them all up, but I managed to find most of them. I've spilled, for whatever reason, I didn't spill the beads a single time when I was working on the wedding shawl, but I have spilled these beads for this shawl like 4 times. I'm still on the first tube of beads, so unfortunately I haven't lost too many, but I have picked them up a lot, and it was kind of funny that I knocked them off at Sheila's house. So yeah, this is going really well, and I'll probably get more work done on that this week because I'm home. Traveling with a beaded project is just kind of a pain because if I'm going to spill these, I do not want to spill them on an airplane or in the airport. So I left that at home while I was traveling. So the next thing I have on the dance card is Rita the Rabbit. And I have a lot of glare, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Rita the rabbit. Well, there we go. Which is a crocheted stuffed animal. And I'll tell you the name. Lally Lala Dolls. Laylala. Excuse me. And I had seen this on, it was featured when they showed that projects that they highlight at the front page of Ravelry. Somebody had done a version of this, and when I saw it, I thought it was so cute and that it would just be perfect for my niece. As it turns out, you have to buy one of the other patterns. This is a free modification. And it turns out she has all these other dolls that are like a little guy with a fox hat and a housefly with little wings. And so I bought a couple of the patterns, as it turns out. And I am just starting the legs for the rabbit. Not quite flat on the bottom. I just attached the legs together and I am working on the body. And I am, because this is for my niece, I am crocheting this out of Caron Simply Soft Light, which is pretty close to a heavy fingering weight or a sport. It's pretty thin when you pull it. It hasn't been significantly different than the project that I just did with fingering weight. I generally, I'm just going to say this, I generally do not like to work with Caron Simply Soft. When I knit with this, I've tried to knit a blanket square one time. It's very acrylic-y on the needles and it squeaked when I used it. But this very light thing, I haven't had a problem with it. It doesn't feel plasticky on my fingers, and on the crochet hook I don't seem to notice. I'm using a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook, which is pretty small. To give you a comparison, my beading needle is super small. It's almost like a pinhead. I think it was supposed to be a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I just didn't happen to have one in my crochet hook stash, so I chose the next smallest one. Seems to be working fine. Although the different patterns I've looked at has varied which size of crochet hook it told you to use, so it may be that this is fine. But it's working up into, the fabric is tight enough where it's not showing the fluff through, so I think it's going to be fine. But anyway, yeah, just the legs done. And the rabbit's face is going to be cream colored. And I think I might make the tail cream colored too. And I bought this other skein of Caron Simply Soft Light in a off-white. And this will be good. You know, if I ever want to make any other stuffed toys or if my kids want to use it for project yarn. I got it at Joann Fabric. I had a coupon. It was really cheap. I think it was like $3 a skein or $2.99 a skein. So I'm not going to worry about it. The most important thing is that when I give my niece this doll, if it needs to go in the washing machine, it can. Which I was very sensitive to since she's only going to be a year old and, you know, they drop stuff in the dirt. So I think she's going to love it. I'm not going to do the embroidery on the front. I think that's too much, but I decided to make it be pink because my sister-in-law really likes to dress my niece in pink, so this will be a very girly Rita the Rabbit for her. This I just started last night, so you can see it's coming along pretty fast. Hopefully today I'll finish the body and because the body goes really quick. And the reason I know this is because on Rate Your Date, I knit Paul the Mushroom Boy. I showed him a couple of weeks ago, and I made him for myself all out of scrap yarn from my stash. And he has this little mushroom hat that comes on and off. You can make different kinds of hats for him if you wanted to. You could change the design of this hat. He came out so cute. So this is the part you can see. I'm just here on the legs, and you can see this knits or crochets up, I should say, pretty much the same as fingering weight yarn that I used. The pants and the sweater, the green grass and the trees on the sweater are Dream in Color Smooshy from my stash. The blue gray here is Holiday Yarns. The red is mostly some Sundara and a little bit of some String Theory Caper Sock. And the white is some Lion brand sockies that I bought because I needed a white yarn. I don't tend to have white yarn in my stash. Now I have plenty. I could make 100,000 things out of that. I loved this pattern. I would give it very high ratings. You don't need to know a ton of crochet stitches to do this. You need to know how to do an increase, how to do a decrease, how to do a single crochet, a double crochet, a slip stitch, and you need to know how to crochet into the front loop or the back loop of the chain when you're doing rounds. So it's really simple. You don't need to do anything fancy. I thought her attention to detail was really good. The feet are rounded on the top and they draw in at the ankles to make the little boot shape. And the hands have a little, can you see it, a little tiny thumb? And I just thought it was really clever. The construction of the hat I thought was really clever. And I'll actually tell you, the hat was the longest thing that took me to make. The arms and the body, like the body, you start out by knitting this collar and put it to the side. And then you knit him all in one piece without the arms up to the head. And when you're finished with the head, you sew the arms on. And then you put this in. So he's all in one piece. The only thing I had to sew on were the arms because the collar and the head are crocheted. Well, you crochet the collar on and then you build the head from that. And then this is knit in one piece. So you crochet the inside first and then you start crocheting in the opposite direction to make the hat, and you stuff it with stuffing as you go. So it's filled. And then you make all these little circles to put on it, and it came out really cute. The only modification that I did on him is the recommended gray color for his sweater. I didn't have anything like that in my stash, so I used this gray blue, and I thought it worked really well because his pants are brown like dirt, and then he has the green trees and grass on his sweater, and I thought this looked kind of like the sky, so worked out great. And the eyes I got from Joann Fabric. I actually, a long time ago, I had them in my stash for when I make amigurumi, so I just picked them out. They happened to be the right size. And the instructions even told you exactly which row to place the eyes on. And then I put 2 little blush spots on his face like they recommended. I just used some blush from my makeup stash. I just rubbed it on there. And it came out really great, and I think this is awesome. It took me about a week to do it, but like I said, I think I finished the body and the head in like 2 days, and the arms took me like a day, but I spent a long time working on the hat because I was traveling and getting my kids ready to travel, and the hat seemed to take forever. It was a lot of crocheting, but totally worth it in the end. So yeah, I can give this pattern 2 thumbs up. Everything was explained very simply. And it comes in a lot of different languages too. So if English isn't your first language, you should check. She might have it in your first language. And she even had some visual guides, you know, step-by-step visual guides for certain things that she wanted you to do. Like when you turn the hat to start crocheting in the opposite direction, that was explained really well. And I had to use what's known as a magic loop cast on for crochet, which I had probably used once before in my life, but I never really used it. Now I'm really good at using it, and it's very handy. And she mentioned how to do it, but I think I also looked on a YouTube tutorial so I could watch someone doing it. But yeah, it was very clear, and I think if you look on her project page, you will see that he came out looking pretty much exactly like her pattern. And to me, on a crocheted pattern, that's always a really good indicator that the instructions were very well written when it really looks exactly like the design. There wasn't a lot of leeway for me to make an error that would make it look off. So I really appreciated that. And I love it. I'm going to put it in my gnome collection. I might make him a little gnome hat so that he's a gnome too. So that was a lot of fun. And I think the rabbit will be really fun too. And that I'll put aside as well for when my niece has her birthday later in the year. So that's it for Rate Your Date and on the dance card. Future dates. I ended up, one caveat to this pattern. She mentions that you can buy any of her patterns where they wear a hood and have legs to modify into the rabbit. And apparently I just glossed over the section that has a hood because, as you can see, Paul has a mushroom hat. So in order to, I could have just done the rabbit ears directly onto the head and not had a little hood, but I liked the way that it looked. So I did pick up a second one of her patterns. I picked up the housefly because I thought that pattern was super cute too. I love his wings. I don't think I'm going to make mine into a housefly. I might just make mine be like a butterfly. But I like that he has a hood, so I'll be using those directions to make the hood part for my rabbit. And like I said, the hood will be pink, but the little face part will be white, so it'll really stand out. So I'm excited to do that. And I'm proud that this is almost all stash yarn. And like I said, the reason that this isn't is because it needs to be washable for my niece. So my future dates is eventually I'll probably do that other doll too. But I think after I'm done with the rabbit, I'm going to want a break from crocheting so much with this very small hook. So yeah, it's been a fun week. Whirlwind Romance, I'm still working on my Warm and Cool project. I need to wrap that up before Tour de Fleece starts in a couple of days. So I'm going to be working on that. I would have done more, but since I was traveling, I didn't have my wheel. So I'm not going to show that again. It still looks pretty much the same as last week. So that's, and then I did order some Diabolical yarn fiber that I'm waiting to arrive, that I am going to blend together with some existing fiber to make a sweater's worth of yarn. That's going to be my Tour de Fleece project. So I'll talk more about that after I have that all ready, maybe next week. Sometime after the tour starts, I'll go into what I'm doing for that project, but I'm very excited about it. So, crushes and heartbreaks. My crush and my heartbreak is that my kids are at my mother's house. It's a heartbreak because I do miss them, even though I talk to them every day. I do kind of miss hanging out with them, and my crush is that I don't have kids until July 15th. So my husband and I went out to a gastropub last night. You know, I don't have to drive people anywhere. I am just footloose and fancy free and having a good time. So, and they're having a great time. So some of my big plans for while they're gone is I have the plumber coming in to replace the fixtures in our bathroom, our shower area, you know, the faucet and everything. That's happening. We're hiring a dumpster because we're going to clean out our garage and our basement and get all of our extra stuff that is not fit to be donated thrown out. So I'm very excited about that. And we're going to have somebody in to redo our kitchen floor. So I'm hoping to get those 3 major projects done before July 15th. We'll see if that happens. It might not, but that's my goal. And I'm going to clean the house because when you don't have children at home, it's rewarding to clean the house because it actually stays clean. Who knew? So that's my crush and my heartbreak. Baubles and Bling. Oh, I have another crush, but a heartbreak, but it's related to my Baubles and Bling. So I found out from my friend Jessalou, Stitched by Jessalou is her. She makes those bags that you've seen everywhere, and I own many of them. This is by her. Informed me that they had some third-party makers of Fitbit bands, and they made different colors. So I ordered this cute blue band, this bright blue band that I wanted for the summer, and I was super excited. But sadly, the same day that I ordered it, my Fitbit died. I've owned it. I bought it the first weekend it was released, which was the first weekend of May in 2013. And it has worked perfectly. I had one software problem on my phone, but it had nothing to do with the hardware. It worked perfectly. Never had a problem with it ever. An entire year went by. Another month goes by, and last Thursday, after my walk, it started resetting itself over and over and over again, and draining the battery down. And then I would do a reset and recharge it, and it would work for like 10 hours, and then it would die. And then it worked for like 8 hours, and then it died. And then finally it worked for like 2 hours, and it died, and I was done with it. I think it died like 4 or 5 times in a 4-day period. It just kept dying. So I put in a ticket to Fitbit because obviously, you know, I thought it would last longer than a year. And they told me that they needed documentation to prove that I needed a proof of purchase because I didn't buy it through their website. And I needed, they needed to see if I qualified for the warranty. Well, I'm a month over the warranty. The warranty was a year, and my year expired on May 6th. But so my crush is that my Fitbit died. I haven't been wearing if you are following me on Fitbit, you will see nothing from me since like Sunday or Monday, because my Fitbit has not been working enough to actually register anything, and it's been completely off my hands since Tuesday night. So I have no Fitbit. I feel completely naked without it. I guess I could wear the band. But the good news and the crush part of it is that Fitbit thanked me for being one of the first people and a loyal user of it, because I have used it every day since I bought it. And I've kept my stuff updated every day since I bought it. And they are going to make an exception, and they are sending me a new Fitbit band. Yay! Yay, Fitbit! I'm so happy about it. So, and the thing is, you know, I asked them to do it because I know that they have the warranty limited for a reason. But it really is stinky when your thing dies right after the warranty expires. You kind of expect something like this to last a little bit longer than a month after the warranty. And they totally heard me. And that's what makes great customer service. They're able to check through they can check the data that's been uploaded to tell what's going on with my Fitbit, and they could see that something was very wrong with my Fitbit. So they knew that I wasn't making it up. And I did fortunately have a bank statement documenting the purchase from Best Buy, which is where I got mine. Obviously, it's too late to return to Best Buy. I think you can only have 60 days to return stuff there. And they were accepting of that bank statement. Obviously, I don't still have the receipt, but that was enough proof for them to show that I had made the purchase and what the date was. And they've been great. They have been really great. So if you own a Fitbit, be happy. You are going to have good customer service. And if you don't have a Fitbit, you should get one, because it's a good company that takes care of its customers like that. I was very touched by the note, and I'm excited for them to send my replacement so that I can have a Fitbit again, and then I'll get to use my new blue band. For anybody who's interested in buying a third-party band in a color that's not generally offered by Fitbit itself, just search on Amazon for Fitbit Flex bands, and you'll see there's a couple of different providers. This one had the summer rainbow of colors. I am a little sad. I thought this would be a slightly darker blue than it is, but I'm happy. It's the teal blue one that they have is not quite the color that I like, and this is more something that I would wear. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'll keep you updated on when I get my new Fitbit. I hope I'm not going to have issues syncing it to my account, but I'm sure there's a way to do that. So, and I'm just really pleased that they took care of me. So, I'm glad. So that was a crush and a heartbreak, and my baubles and bling. My sad baubles and bling that I can't use. Gossip and innuendo. Well, there is a lot going on, obviously, in my life, and there is a lot going on in Sheila's life because she started her new job, and I traveled all over getting my kids. I flew down on Tuesday morning, flew back the next day to get them settled with my parents. I think next year we might let them fly by themselves. I think they're old enough now. And I'm going to be pretty busy. While they're gone, I'm going to be doing stuff to get my house organized. We would like to put our house on the market eventually. And I am going to be doing stuff I am going to be working on Tour de Fleece because I really do want to do my sweater project that I'm very excited about. I'm spinning on Team Diabolical. I don't know, I might also spin on Team Shocked and Team Into the World because I will be using those as well. But we'll see. So if you're doing Tour de Fleece, you should totally get involved. I will be starting a Tour de Fleece project thread. So anything that you spin during Tour de Fleece, post in there. I'll probably draw a prize at the end of it. It's not a formal Tour de Fleece competition thing. You don't have to be on team Knit One Heart Two or anything. It's just going to be low pressure fun thing for our group to do. You don't even have to be doing official Tour de Fleece. As long as you spin and complete a project during Tour de Fleece, it'll count even if you're not doing the official whatever it is. Because I don't really officially do the contests because, I don't know, too much pressure, I guess. Although I am going to be on Team Diabolical this year. I usually pick a team to identify with that constitutes a large part of what I'm working on. I think last year I was Team Into the World. And I've done that a couple of years. I was Team Shocked last year because both of my spinning wheels are shocked wheels. And one of the other things I have to do this weekend is condition my wheel. And I mentioned it in the group, but there is a very good video by Kagi from the High Fiber Diet and Tina from Knitting Blooms on the internet that tells you if you have a shocked wheel, anyway, a ladybug or one of their wheels, how to totally clean and condition it. And I follow that video instruction twice a year. I bought all the supplies that they recommended, and that's what I use for my wheel. So I'll be probably doing that over the weekend at some point to get ready. And the next fiber event that's coming up is still the one in July, Convergence in Rhode Island. I might go for the day to the marketplace and try to catch up my sister-in-law, who's a big weaver, because this is mostly a weaving fiber convention. But they are going to have a marketplace with yarn and fiber, so it's worth checking out if you're around. I'm going to try to have lunch with her and catch up with her for a bit. She lives in California, so I don't see her very often. And I am going to pop over to Webb's this weekend because my friend Belinda, is in town with her husband. He has been getting treatment at Mass General Hospital for the last few weeks, and she's been staying in a hotel in Boston. And my treat to her is to take her out to Webb's tomorrow for a fun trip. She's never been to Webb's before, so this will be good for her. And Sheila's going to come with me too. We're going to have a little girls' day, so I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much all the news there is to know. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more organized, longer show. And so have a great week and knit with heart. He can't make a heart shape. Knit with heart. Bye.